Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to edit faster here in the new season. And I want to be talking about a few things that I've been doing currently that have drastically improved my editing speed, and just some things that I want to give you guys some tips on that I think can help you guys out a lot. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway for Fortnite Chapter 2. If you guys want to be entered in this giveaway, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, make sure you guys turn on my post notifications so you guys can get notified for every single new video, and as well, leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the giveaway. And real quick, if you guys want to support me as a creator in the item shop, my code is YoungHumor. So if you guys want to support me, definitely put in my code. It helps me out a ton. I definitely appreciate it. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I wanted to be talking about how you guys can edit faster here in Fortnite Chapter 2. And there's going to be certain edits that specifically I want to be talking about in this video, kind of like a build/edit type of thing, that I think can really help you guys out a ton in game. And these are the type of edits that I've been working on the most, that I've seen the most improvement on, because there is a lot of different edits you can do when it comes to, cones, stairs, floors, ramps. You can really do pretty much, there's so many different edits you can do in this game, and I think you should really just be focusing on the most important ones. And there's a few edits specifically that I think have been the most beneficial, and I also want to talk about how I practice my edits. So real quick, I'm just going to show you guys the settings that I have. I ended up bumping up my my controller X and Y sensitivity. I had a 0.65 and I bumped it up to a 7 on both of them, just because it wasn't really had to do anything with editing. It really had to do with aiming, so that's why I bumped it up. And then my editing sensitivity was a 2. But one thing you guys want to make sure you have on is you want to have on confirm edit on release. This is something that I put on like 2 days ago, and if you guys don't know exactly what that does, I made a video just yesterday and it's called something like best settings for editing. Definitely check out that video if you guys don't really understand what that means. I have a full video fully explaining everything about it, but that's something that I put on, and it makes quite a big difference when it comes to speeding the speed of my edits. It makes everything a little bit faster, a little bit smoother, so I definitely recommend putting it on. So I wanted to show you guys my settings because I did change my X and Y. But when it comes to editing, there's a few edits in particular that I've noticed for the season that really do make a huge difference, because here in this season compared to other seasons, and a lot of other seasons, there definitely was a lot more mobility. You had a lot more like random trash items. You had like the mech, the planes, different things like that were in the game. But in this season, it's really mainly focused on gunfights, which is really good. I wish they maybe put like maybe one more mobility thing in the game, but a lot of it is a lot of straight gunfight on gunfight. So building and editing does play a major role in each individual fight. So one edit in particular that I want to show you guys is something right here, and this has to be tunneling. This is something that, of course, is definitely not the best thing for me. I'm not the best at this, but I'm not the worst. I'm definitely not as good as I should be, and this is something I've been practicing a lot more, because it is a little bit harder, especially for those guys who play on controller. If I was on a like an 8 or 9 sensitivity, it would be a lot easier, but then I would have to give up a little bit of my accuracy. So that's one of the main reasons why it's a little bit harder for me, because my sensitivity would need to be higher for it to make to be able to make it a lot easier. So that's just a problem that I have. But I still can get a little bit better, or at least a lot better than I'm currently at, because I am messing up my edits from time to time. And this is something that I've been practicing a lot more, and now that I look back on video, it definitely looks a lot worse than when I was actually doing it, because it's really important in game that you practice going as fast as possible, because if you're not messing up, then you're really not doing it fast enough. Because I do see people, when they practice it, they go they go through the motions, they go pretty slow with it. And when it comes to improving, if you're not messing up, then you're not going to be improving, and that's really the whole idea and the main goal. And that's why you see me messing up so many times, because I'm really trying to get it as fast as possible. And you're not going to improve your speed at all, and you're not going to improve your editing if you're not messing up in any sort of way. So that's why when you ever see perfect editing, unless it's like some crazy builds and they send creative 24 hours a day, most people aren't going to have those edits very, very good and very solid, or very quick. A lot of people can be very they can be very consistent with their edits, but they're not very quick, which isn't really that much of a bonus, because if you're not very fast with your edits, then especially for someone like myself who plays PC with controller, going against people who play keyboard and mouse. I have to be a lot faster than when I normally played on console, because on console at least I was facing other controller players and they had these same advantages and disadvantages of me. But since I am playing against keyboard and mouse players, the majority of my games and the majority of fights, I have to be as fast as possible. So I don't really have any room to try to, be like a smooth type of builder or a smooth type of editor. I have to be as fast as possible and try to get my shots off as fast as possible if I want to be winning in the fight. So that's when I practice my edits. I practice editing as fast as I possibly can, and a lot of times I do mess up, and because I'm messing up, I know I am improving, because if I was perfect at editing and I could do it as fast as possible, then I would really be improving, because then I would be the best I could possibly be at that type of edit. And that could be a really good way to judge, because there are certain edits that I'm really, really good at, and there, edits that I really don't have to focus and try to improve on. Like a bunch of edits when it comes to the floors, it's super easy. There's not much to it, so that's something that I don't focus on and don't practice, because I have it down very, very well. But different edits when it comes to walls, something that I practice a lot more, because I used to be really bad at editing walls, but that's something that I practice a lot more, and I definitely got a lot better. I'm not perfect by any means, but it has helped me out a lot. And one thing to also mention that I just remembered is, so back in my settings, I also turned on edit mode aim assist, and one thing you have to consider, and for those guys who do play on a controller, so either you play on Xbox or PS4, when it comes to the new, I guess it came out like a month ago, but like the new settings that they had where you can have pretty much whatever sensitivity you want, you can't use edit mode aim assist, which is pretty whack. I don't know why it is that way, but it just is. So I do have the legacy, basically the old settings on, so I can have the edit mode aim assist, because I think edit mode aim assist is very, very helpful. Now there are some certain situations in which it might hurt you, but for the majority of the time it really isn't an issue, and I think personally it does give me an advantage, because it makes my edits a lot more controlled, and it's just a lot easier for me to do consistently. So that's something I would recommend trying out if you guys don't try out or haven't tried out edit mode aim assist. I did make a full video on it a really long time ago, definitely months and months ago, but it is something very useful to do, and it just helps you guide. And how it works is just when it comes to edit mode aim assist, your nearest square that you're looking at is going to be kind of, it's like aim assist, but for like the squares on your wall, the squares on your any type of build that you have, and it just helps it guide. It makes it a lot smoother and a lot easier to get consistent edits. And if you're ever stuck and not really sure exactly what you want to improve on, a really good thing you can do is just hop in some editing courses. Now there's a ton of editing courses you can do. It really doesn't matter which one you do, as long as they have a bunch of different builds, because once you go to the editing course, there's probably going to be one or two things, maybe even more than that you're consistently messing up on. So if you don't know exactly what you think you should be improving on, just go through a couple editing courses, and it's going to be pretty apparent and pretty obvious which edits that you are going to be messing up the most, and the edits that you obviously need to be improving on. And that's something that I do, because I feel like I practice a ton on certain edits, and I do get very good at it, and I don't have to worry about it too much. And I noticed that maybe I'm not as good at this edit anymore, and that's going to be the edit that I focus on. So editing courses can be a really good way to improve your editing, and also a really good way to find exactly what edit that you specifically need to be improving on, because I think when it comes to improving, it's really important that you be specific with it, because otherwise it's going to be very hard, because if you don't know specifically what you want to improve on, then it's kind of hard to improve at that area. And even if it's to the point like maybe you want to improve editing, but you have to be very specific. Like you want to work on like a specific wall edit, you want to work on a specific stair edit, and once you get really good at that edit, then you can work on to another one. And I think that's the best mindset and the best way to go about improving on editing, or really anything in this game, just because you really do want to be specific on exactly what you want to practice on, because that's going to be the gateway, and probably I would say the #1 way to improve in the quickest and fastest amount of time, because you know exactly and specifically what you need to work on and what you're going to work on, and that's going to be the fastest and best way to improve anything in this game. Even it could be even building, aiming, whatever the case may be, but this video is specifically about editing. So whatever edits you feel like you need to work on, I would definitely try to figure out what edits you do need to work on, and specifically target those edits and be very, very good at them. And eventually I would say even within a day or two, maybe even 3 days, you can have that edit pretty down packed, pretty good, and you can move on to another edit. And I would say within a week, maybe even 2, you're gonna see huge improvements in your editing speed. And with that being said, that's a wrap up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you guys do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on my post notifications so you guys are notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.